Hola a todos, ¿qué tal? Hoy vamos a analizar una opinion piece basada en los puntos que hablamos en el último vídeo. I just want to do a quick disclaimer, and I wrote this opinion piece and it doesn't mean that it's perfect, okay? I'm just going to show you a model of a decent opinion piece that has very good points in both content and language, okay? So we're going to analyze that and let me know what you think. So first of all, if you haven't checked the previous video that I uploaded, it's called How to Gain Marks in an Opinion Piece, and I'm going to explain what I said in that video. Right, so I found this title, which is called Viajar te hace mejor persona, and we're going to write an opinion piece about it, okay? So the first thing that I did was basically to think about what ideas I want to include in it. And I divided my opinion piece into 5 different paragraphs. The introduction, one idea, second idea, third idea, and the conclusion. In paragraph 1, which is the introduction, I'm going to say that I totally agree with the previous statement. And in my first idea, I'm going to mention that traveling is beneficial to learn a culture and to understand the costumes or the habits of a group, and it opens your mind. In the second idea, I'm going to talk about being more independent, more self-sufficient, when you can cook and pay for your own stuff. And in my third idea, I'm going to mention learn new abilities, such as language. It's going to be beneficial for your future and your professional career. And finally, in the conclusion, I'm just going to summarize what I had said previously, and I'm going to include one imperfecto de subjuntivo, which is si yo tuviera, if I had. Right, let's move to the actual opinion piece. I'm going to read it. Estoy totalmente de acuerdo con esta afirmación. Hoy en día es muy fácil descubrir nuevos lugares gracias a la globalización y a la multiculturalidad. Vamos a examinar los argumentos a favor de viajar. En primer lugar, pienso que es esencial viajar para aprender una cultura, la comida, la ropa, la forma en que otras personas viven. Viajar nos ayuda a entender las costumbres de un grupo y, por lo tanto, nos abre la mente para comprender a otras personas. En segundo lugar, no cabe duda de que cuando viajas eres más independiente. Aprendes a ser más autosuficiente en las tareas del hogar, como limpiar, cocinar o pagar tus propias cosas. Como no tienes a tus padres cerca, tú eres responsable de tus acciones. Y en tercer lugar, está claro que cuando viajas aprendes una lengua nueva. Esto puede ser muy beneficioso a largo plazo. Por ejemplo, puedes tener un trabajo mejor con un salario más alto. Cuando termine mis exámenes, definitivamente aprenderé otro idioma. Tengo muchas ganas. En conclusión, si tuviera la oportunidad, iría a más lugares, porque es lógico que viajar nos hace mejor personas. Somos más independientes, aprendemos sobre otras culturas y nos ayuda en nuestro futuro. Right, so let's analyze the strong points in this opinion piece. So first of all, when we see the piece as a whole, we can see that all the paragraphs are very similar in length. And this is a very positive thing, because when the reader can see that, that's very pleasant to the eye, and that makes the reader look forward to reading it, because it looks, aesthetically, it looks really nice. Right, so let's look at the first paragraph. I started by saying that I totally agree with this statement, and by doing this, I'm showing my strong opinion, and I just want to make sure that the reader knows which side I am on, okay? Then I also used hoy en día, which is like these days, so I'm giving an example of the current world, because at the end of the day, this is like traveling makes you a better person these days, right? In the second paragraph, which is my first idea, I start with a connector or a starting phrase, which is en primer lugar. First of all, I give my opinion, first person, because I say pienso. Then I use por lo tanto as well, which is therefore, and it's a very good way to close your paragraph. In paragraph 3, which is my second idea, I start with en segundo lugar, secondly, and then I use this phrase, which is no cabe duda de que. This means there is no doubt that. And I particularly like this one because it shows that if you use this one, it shows that you have a very strong opinion about what you're talking about, if that makes sense in English. And then I also use a lot of examples in the housework chores, such as cooking, cleaning, and pay for your own things. And then in paragraph 4, which is my third idea, I start with en tercer lugar, so third thing, está claro que, it is clear that. So again, I'm showing that I'm pretty inclined towards the statement. As you can see there, I use cuando, and then I'm using a subjunctive. Cuando termine mis exámenes, definitivamente aprenderé otro idioma, which translates as when I finish my exams, I'll definitely learn another language. That cuando plus subjunctive is used when we're talking about a wish or a hope in the future that is not real now. So it's similar to espero que, okay? I really like this one because cuando is a tricky word that sometimes can have present or indicativo, and sometimes can have subjunctive. So in this case, when you're talking about a wish in the future, you could use this one. And then I finish the paragraph by saying, tengo muchas ganas. I'm using this phrase, which is, I'm really looking forward to, and that can give you extra points for your content. You're using phrases. And then I finish the opinion piece with the conclusion, and I'm using this imperfecto de subjuntivo that we mentioned in the last video, which is si tuviera la oportunidad. So if I had the chance, I would go to more places. Now, this one is, like I said, is imperfecto de subjuntivo, and it's used for things or situations that are not true in this moment, but they might be true in the future, or it is a wish that you have for the future. In this case, I'm saying, if I had the opportunity, I would go to more places. I don't have the opportunity now, but maybe in the future I will. So that's why I used this phrase. Check out the last video if you haven't, because I gave a couple of examples of this. And yeah, so that would be it. In my opinion, like I said, this is an opinion piece that I wrote, and it doesn't mean that it's perfect. But what I did here in order to gain higher marks is to use connectors, and I'm using opening phrases in each of the paragraphs. I'm using presents, and I'm using futures. I use phrases like tengo ganas. I'm using a subjunctive. Actually, I'm using two subjunctives, one in present, one in imperfect. The paragraphs are similar in length, and the ideas are totally different from one another. So, what do you think about my opinion piece? Does it look okay? Is there anything you would add, or is there anything that you would change? I'd like to hear your opinions on my opinion piece. So redundant. And I hope this can help you gain higher marks, okay? Let me know what you think, and I'll be reading your comments. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.